Captain America The Brave New World is officially released, and there has been a lot of controversy behind the movie. I will not get into specific details about the entire movie and give my opinions on it as a whole, but I do have a different video that has my full movie review in the description if you want to check that out. This video specifically is all about how casting Harrison Ford was a really bad recast to replace the late William Hurt. For disclosures, this isn't a video that is hating on Harrison Ford or his acting abilities. This is more for ragging on Marvel for making a lazy casting choice by putting in a big name for this movie, which doesn't work well for this universe. I gotta say, I absolutely love Harrison Ford and think he's a great actor, especially since I'm a huge fan of Star Wars and his role as Han Solo. Watching the movie, he obviously does a great job acting as Thunderbolt Ross and does have the personality for that role, but it just never felt right the entire movie. The main problem for Harrison Ford being casted as any character in the MCU is the fact that he's just too famous and had way too many giant roles that he is known for. The beauty of the characters in the MCU is that most of the actors become their characters and the MCU becomes their legacy, which only makes this universe feel even more real. For example, whenever you see or think about Robert Downey Jr., you automatically think of Iron Man. For Chris Evans, you think of Captain America. Tom Holland, you think of Spider-Man. Chris Hemsworth, you think of Thor. And there's many more actors who you automatically know them for their MCU character. But Harrison Ford will never be looked at and thought of as Thaddeus Ross or Red Hulk. Harrison Ford will always be looked at as Han Solo or Indiana Jones. So for starters, that fact alone made it hard for me to see Ross while watching the film. Another thing that makes it worse is that there was already a previous actor that played Ross in the entirety of the MCU before the release of Captain America: The Brave New World. Recasting any character is hard to get the audience to see them as that same character, but putting an extremely famous actor with huge prior roles as the replacement just makes it even harder for the audience to adapt. Another factor in this is that Ross has always had a mustache in his presence within the MCU, and Harrison Ford did not. You have to try and keep as many details about the character similar in a giant cinematic universe with a recasting to make it feel believable, even something as small as giving him a mustache. There was a very short clip in the movie showing Ross in the past with Harrison Ford having a mustache, and I gotta say, even though you can still tell that it's Harrison Ford, that mustache actually had a huge effect on me to make it more believable that he is the Thaddeus Ross that has been in the MCU the entire time. It is always so tragic for an actor to pass away, and it does put a lot of pressure on the studio to figure out how to handle the character since they already have big plans for the future of the character. As you can see with Chadwick Boseman, even though they had big plans for Black Panther, they decided out of respect to kill off his character instead of recasting him. But with Ross, they decided to recast, which I'm happy they did because there is potential for a huge storyline that this character can lead to. As we can see, recasting can be really messy, and recasting a deceased actor with someone that is 82 years old is not a smart idea. I know Harrison Ford looks like he's in great health right now for his age, but what about 5 to 10 years from now? This is a cinematic universe that is supposed to continue indefinitely, and they just introduced Harrison Ford's character as Red Hulk, which should be a big factor in the future of the MCU. So casting someone who is 82 years old as Red Hulk just limited the amount of time they will have to use this character before Harrison Ford is no longer in good health to play this role, which will be uncertain. So putting that all together, it would have been a much wiser decision if Marvel has casted an actor who is much less well known than Harrison Ford and younger to help continue on the legacy of Thaddeus Ross that William Hurt has started. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought about Harrison Ford as Ross and if you think casting somebody else would have been better.